The only man in the history of Scottish football to win back-to-back trebles, with successive Champions League qualifications to boot, Rodgers, it may well be argued, simply hit the glass ceiling far sooner than he had any right to. This is the nub of the current angst around the club. The only real way the Northern Irishman could possibly improve upon his first 2 seasons up here was to make a real impact in the Champions League. That kind of thing costs unquantifiable sums of money. The sort of resources no side operating in the Scottish environment has. Thus the friction that has ensued. Hard on the heels of a defeat to Hearts in the Premiership, Celtic's elimination from the Champions League at the hands of Athens, coupled with a strong start to the campaign by Steven Gerrard's Rangers, has irked the Parkhead support like no time since their manager came to town. In such moments, throwing the baby out with the bathwater seems to be the national sport. For James Milner, though, there is not a shred of doubt that the man who signed him for Liverpool 3 years ago will blow away whatever storm clouds are presently over his head. In the eyes of the England man, Rodgers was, is and always will be, the steadiest of hands on the tiller. A man to block out the background noise and see things through a logical prism. Just the man Celtic need at this trying moment, in fact. That's what happens when you're at a big club, Milner said of the angst that came with those back-to-back losses. You have to deal with those expectations, but Brendan has been there before, and I'm sure he'll cope with that. Celtic are still in with a chance of qualifying for the Europa League group stage and keeping that going until Christmas at least. He'll be a better manager now for his experience at Liverpool. The success he's had in Scotland suggests that, but Liverpool are also strong at the moment, so there won't be any regrets from either side. Brendan did a good job at Liverpool, and he's doing a good job at Parkhead. Signed by Rodgers in the summer of 2015, Milner arrived on the Merseyside scene when the manager was trying to salvage his reputation. By that point, the enormous credits Rodgers had gained from taking the Anfield club to the cusp of the title 12 months previously had faded into the background. While the departure of Luis Suarez to Barcelona weeks after Gerrard's infamous slip against Chelsea was certainly an enormous blow, few expected the Reds to fall from 2nd to 6th. And absolutely no one countenanced 2014-15 concluding with a 6-1 loss to Stoke. Milner arrived at Liverpool when the heat was on Rodgers like never before. By the start of October, the crisis around him had intensified, and after drawing the Merseyside derby, Rodgers was hurtling back to earth after being sacked. But the player's recollections of a man who was in the dying embers of his reign when he joined remain overwhelmingly positive. "My impression of him was that he's a very good manager," said Milner. "From speaking with him before I joined and then working with him, I could see how well prepared he is, how good he is tactically in training, and how impressive his man management is." As he beat a retreat from Athens last week, Brendan Rodgers may well have felt his own plight was beginning to resemble that of a famous figure from Greek mythology.